Have you ever wondered why some people see opportunity where others see nothing? The difference is not luck, not talent, the courage to unleash the creativity already living inside them. Creativity begins with belief, the simple yet powerful conviction that your ideas have the power to shape the world. Every great innovation, every revolutionary idea, every leap in human progress has always started in the quiet corners of belief. It is the seed from which creativity grows. Without belief, even the most talented minds remain silent, their imagination locked away behind the fear of being wrong or misunderstood. Belief is the invisible force that transforms imagination into action, and action into innovation. It is not about arrogance or blind confidence. It is about trusting your vision enough to give it a chance to live. When you believe in yourself, you give permission to your creativity to take risks. You stop worrying about what others might think, and you start focusing on what could be possible. People never unlock their creativity because they doubt themselves before they even begin. They convince themselves that they are not creative enough, that others are more talented, or that their ideas are not worth pursuing. Creativity is not a gift reserved for a chosen few. It is a natural human ability. The only difference between those who innovate and those who don't is belief. Belief gives courage to start, to try, to fail, and to rise again. Belief turns imagination into conviction. Imagine a world where every person believed their ideas could matter. How many hidden solutions would emerge? How many problems could be solved? How many dreams could take flight? You believe in yourself. Your mind opens to possibilities that others cannot see. You begin to challenge assumptions, question limitations, and reimagine the ordinary. Every new creation, from the light bulb to the smartphone, began with someone who refused to stop believing in the power of their idea. These individuals faced skepticism, ridicule, and countless failures, yet they kept going because their belief was stronger than their fear. Belief is also the fuel that keeps creativity alive during uncertainty. Innovation is rarely a smooth path. There are days when your ideas won't work, when people will doubt you, and when you'll feel like giving up. At that moment, belief becomes your inner strength. It whispers, "Try again." It pushes you to explore new angles, to see failures as feedback, to view every obstacle as part of the creative journey. When you believe deeply in your purpose, challenges become opportunities to grow rather than reasons to quit. In the modern world, where technology evolves faster than ever, creativity is not just a talent, it is a necessity. But creativity without belief is like a car without fuel. You can have all the knowledge, tools, and opportunities, but if you don't believe in your ability to create something new, you'll never move forward. Belief gives life to vision. It turns ordinary people into innovators and dreamers into doers. It allows you to look at the same world everyone else sees and imagine something better, something different, something that has never existed before. Belief also attracts others who share your vision. When you truly believe in what you are doing, your passion becomes contagious. People are drawn to confidence and conviction. Your belief inspires others to contribute, to collaborate, and to dream with you. This is how entire teams and organizations transform, not through fear or control, but through belief in a shared creative purpose. To unleash your inner creativity, you must first believe that your mind is capable of greatness. You must give yourself permission to explore, to be different, to make mistakes, and to learn. The world doesn't need perfect ideas, it needs bold ones. And boldness starts from within. Every innovation begins as a small spark of belief in someone's mind. Belief that something more is possible. Belief that one person can make a difference. And belief that imagination, when trusted, can change the world. Failure is not the enemy of creativity, it is its greatest teacher. Every innovative idea, every groundbreaking invention, and every successful journey has been paved with countless failures. The truth is, creativity does not flourish in perfection. It grows in the soil of trial, error, and resilience. Who dare to innovate understand that failure is not a sign of weakness or incompetence. It is evidence of courage. It means you are trying, experimenting, pushing boundaries, and stepping beyond the comfort of what is known. Innovation demands risk, and risk inevitably brings the possibility of failure. It is in those moments of failure that true creativity is born, shaped, and refined. When people fear failure, they paralyze their imagination. They stay within the safety of conventional thinking, where the outcome is predictable and approval is guaranteed. But creativity does not thrive in safety, it thrives in exploration. Every mistake you make teaches you something about what doesn't work, and that knowledge becomes the foundation for what might work next. Failure, in this sense, is not the opposite of success, it is part of success. The only real failure is the unwillingness to learn from it. Those who innovate continuously understand this cycle: experiment, fail, learn, adapt, and try again. Each attempt brings new insight, sharper intuition, and stronger resolve. When you fail, you gain more than experience, you gain perspective. Failure strips away ego and forces humility, which is essential for growth. It teaches you to listen more, to observe patterns, and to understand the deeper reasons behind outcomes. Many people quit after their first setback because they mistake temporary defeat for permanent loss. Those who persist long enough to analyze their failures often find hidden clues, insights that lead them to their next breakthrough. In fact, history is filled with examples of innovators whose greatest successes came right after their greatest failures. Separates them from the rest is not superior talent, but the ability to view failure as a mentor rather than a monster. Failure also builds resilience, and resilience is the silent partner of creativity. When you fail repeatedly and still rise again, you strengthen your mental muscles. You develop patience, perseverance, and emotional endurance, qualities that allow you to face future challenges without fear. This resilience becomes a shield that protects your creativity from discouragement, reminds you that every no brings you closer to a yes. Every closed door directs you to a new path, and every mistake is simply data guiding your next move. The more you fail and recover, the more confidence you build in your ability to handle uncertainty. And innovation thrives in uncertainty. Society often glorifies success but hides the struggle behind it. People celebrate achievements but rarely acknowledge the countless attempts that led there. Yet, in truth, failure is what shapes character and sharpens vision. It humbles the proud and strengthens the determined. It breaks down the illusion of control and reminds us that progress is a process, not a destination. The world's most creative thinkers have failed more times than most people have tried, but they never allowed failure to define them. They understood that innovation is not about getting it right the first time. It is about having the courage to keep going until it works. Failure also teaches empathy. You've experienced setbacks yourself. You become more understanding toward others who are struggling. This empathy enhances collaboration because innovation rarely happens alone. When people are not afraid to fail in front of each other, they share ideas more freely, take bolder risks, create a culture of experimentation. In such an environment, failure becomes a shared learning experience rather than a source of shame. That is where the real magic of creativity happens, when minds unite not to avoid mistakes, but to learn from them together. In the end, failure is a mirror that reflects your true potential. It reveals your weaknesses so you can strengthen them, your fears so you can overcome them, and your limits so you can expand them. The more you fail, the more you grow, and the more your creativity evolves. Failure is not a wall blocking your path. It is the bridge that takes you from imagination to innovation. Curiosity is the heartbeat of creativity. It is the force that pushes the human mind to explore, to question, and to imagine what lies beyond the obvious. Without curiosity, innovation becomes stagnant. Routine replaces discovery, and comfort replaces growth. The greatest minds in history, from inventors and artists to entrepreneurs, shared one common trait: they never stopped asking questions. They looked at the same world everyone else saw. Their curiosity made them wonder why things were the way they were, and how they could be different. Curiosity is not just about seeking answers. It is about being willing to challenge what is accepted and to explore what is possible. When you stay curious, you open your mind to new perspectives. You start noticing patterns others overlook, and you begin connecting ideas that seem unrelated. Curiosity breaks the boundaries of conventional thinking. It allows you to see opportunities in problems and solutions in chaos. Many people lose their sense of curiosity as they grow older because they become afraid of appearing ignorant or foolish. They stop asking questions and start relying on assumptions. Creativity demands the opposite, the courage to be curious even when you do not have all the answers. Every innovation begins with a single question: if or why not? That question becomes the spark that ignites new possibilities. Curiosity also drives continuous learning, which is essential for innovation. The world changes rapidly, and those who cling to old knowledge eventually fall behind. Curious minds, however, never stop evolving. They read, observe, listen, and experiment. They are not afraid of failure because they see it as an opportunity to learn something new. This constant hunger for knowledge keeps creativity alive. It feeds imagination and provides the raw material for new ideas. A curious person does not wait for inspiration to strike. They go out and seek it. They explore different cultures, disciplines, and experiences, understanding that inspiration often hides in unexpected places. Curiosity is also deeply linked to passion. You are genuinely interested in something. Curiosity fuels your motivation to understand it better. You dig deeper, spend more time exploring it, and eventually uncover insights others miss. This passion-driven curiosity turns ordinary work into a creative pursuit, transforms obstacles into puzzles to be solved rather than problems to be avoided. Every challenge becomes a new adventure in learning. When you approach life with curiosity, even failure feels less like defeat and more like discovery. You begin to see life itself as an experiment. Every experience adds something valuable to your understanding of the world. In a world filled with distractions and information overload, maintaining curiosity requires focus and humility. It means admitting that no matter how much you know, there is always more to learn. Creative people never assume they are experts. They remain eternal students. Their curiosity keeps them humble and open to change. This mindset not only leads to innovation, but also to personal growth. It helps you adapt to new environments, industries, and challenges because you are not confined by rigid thinking. Curiosity gives you flexibility, the ability to shift your perspective and reinvent yourself when needed. Curiosity also sparks collaboration. When you are genuinely curious about how others think, you start listening more deeply. You value diverse opinions and realize that creativity flourishes when different viewpoints intersect. Great ideas are often born at the crossroads of different disciplines. Curious mind seeks out those intersections, asking questions that connect science to art, logic to emotion, and technology to humanity. Such curiosity-driven collaboration multiplies innovation and transforms small ideas into revolutionary ones. The greatest danger to creativity is complacency, the belief that things are good enough as they are. Curiosity destroys complacency. It keeps you restless, searching, striving for improvement. It challenges you to see beyond the surface and to imagine what could be rather than settle for what is. When you nurture curiosity, you awaken a childlike wonder that makes every day an opportunity to create something new. It keeps your mind alive, your imagination active, and your spirit unafraid to explore. In the end, curiosity is not just a habit. It is a way of life that transforms ordinary thinkers into extraordinary innovators. Thinking differently and acting boldly is the essence of true innovation. It is the mindset that separates leaders from followers, creators from imitators, and dreamers from doers. Every great change in history was made by someone who dared to think beyond what was normal and act upon ideas that others were too afraid to try. Thinking differently means breaking free from the mental cages of conformity, the belief that things must remain as they are simply because they have always been that way. It is the courage to question old systems, challenge outdated traditions, and imagine a new reality even when no one else can see it yet. Creativity lives in that space between doubt and daring, where vision meets action. Most people think within the boundaries society sets for them. They follow patterns, taste success, and avoid standing out because it feels safe. But innovation never comes from safety. It comes from those who take risks, who embrace uncertainty, and who trust their instincts enough to follow a different path. Thinking differently is not about rejecting everything conventional for the sake of rebellion. It is about having the wisdom to see alternatives that others miss. It is about looking at a problem from new angles and realizing that there is more than one solution. When your mind learns to see beyond limits, your creativity becomes limitless. Acting boldly is the next step after thinking differently. Many people have great ideas but lack the courage to pursue them. Fear of failure, criticism, rejection stops them before they even start. Bold action is what transforms imagination into innovation. It means taking that first step even when the road ahead is unclear. It means trusting that progress will reveal itself along the way. Acting boldly doesn't mean being reckless. It means having conviction. It's about believing in your vision so deeply that you're willing to take calculated risks to bring it to life. Every bold act begins with uncertainty. It ends with growth and discovery. When you think differently, you often face resistance. Society has a habit of resisting new ideas because change is uncomfortable. People will question your motives, doubt your ability, and sometimes even ridicule your efforts. But if you want to innovate, you must learn to be comfortable with discomfort. You must be willing to stand alone when necessary, to defend your ideas when no one else believes in them yet. History has proven time and again that the most revolutionary thinkers were once seen as dreamers or even fools. Their ideas challenged the status quo, and that's exactly why they changed the world. Thinking differently requires inner strength. Acting boldly requires persistence and patience to see your vision through. Innovation also thrives when you create an environment where thinking differently is not only accepted but encouraged. Individuals are free to express unconventional ideas without fear of failure or judgment. Creativity blossoms. This kind of culture allows people to take bold actions collectively. It transforms organizations and communities into living systems of innovation. Bold thinking becomes the norm. Breakthroughs happen naturally. It always begins with one person who dares to think differently and act courageously enough to set an example for others. Thinking differently is not about intelligence. It is about perspective. It is the willingness to see patterns where others see chaos and opportunities where others see problems. Acting boldly, on the other hand, is about discipline and persistence. It is showing up every day to move your vision forward, even when progress feels invisible. Together, these two traits form the foundation of innovation. Without different thinking, there is no creativity. Without bold action, there is no impact. To think differently is to imagine the impossible. To act boldly is to make it real. Every breakthrough in business, science, art began as a strange idea that someone refused to abandon. That refusal, that unwavering boldness, is what turns dreams into reality. The world rewards those who dare to challenge its limits, who look at what exists and say, "There must be a better way." Thinking differently gives birth to the idea. Acting boldly gives it life. Collaboration is the heartbeat of innovation, the point where diverse minds meet to create something greater than any individual could achieve alone. Creativity may begin within a single person, but it flourishes when shared. The greatest breakthroughs in history, from scientific discoveries to technological revolutions, were not the work of one mind, but the result of collective effort. Collaboration brings together different perspectives, experiences, and skills that challenge one another, blend ideas, and give rise to new possibilities. People unite around a shared vision. Their combined creativity multiplies, creating outcomes far more powerful than individual genius. In any creative process, diversity is the key ingredient. When a group consists of people who think alike, innovation stagnates because everyone approaches problems from the same angle. True creativity emerges when different ways of thinking collide, when artists work with engineers, when dreamers meet doers, when analytical minds mix with imaginative ones. These differences are not barriers, they are sparks. Each person contributes a unique lens, allowing the team to see beyond their individual limitations. This diversity of thought transforms challenges into opportunities and ideas into action. It is through collaboration that creativity expands its boundaries and takes shape in the real world. Collaboration also nurtures humility. When working with others, you quickly learn that you don't have all the answers. This realization opens the door to learning and growth. It forces you to listen deeply, to understand different perspectives, and to value contributions that differ from your own. In that exchange of ideas, something magical happens. Your thinking evolves. You begin to see how your strengths complement others' weaknesses and vice versa. This interdependence fosters mutual respect and trust, the foundation of any successful creative team. Collaboration teaches you that creativity is not about ego, it is about synergy. In collaborative environments, ideas are not judged by who presents them, but by their potential to solve problems or inspire progress. The best teams encourage open dialogue. No idea is too wild to be considered, and no question too simple to ask. This openness creates psychological safety, a space where people feel free to express themselves without fear of ridicule or rejection. Such an atmosphere fuels experimentation, and experimentation is the engine of innovation. When people know their ideas are valued, they contribute with greater enthusiasm, and the group becomes an unstoppable creative force. The power of collaboration also lies in momentum. An individual might lose motivation when faced with obstacles, but a team provides strength and support. One member's energy fades, another's passion reignites the drive. This shared rhythm keeps innovation moving forward, even in the face of setbacks. In a truly collaborative culture, failure is not the end, but a lesson collectively learned. Teams that embrace failure together develop resilience together, turning every misstep into a stepping stone toward greater achievement. Technology has made collaboration more accessible than ever. Today, people from different continents, backgrounds, and industries can work together in real time. This global exchange of ideas accelerates creativity on an unprecedented scale. The internet, digital tools, and remote communication have made it possible for innovation to be a global conversation rather than a local effort. But even in a digital age, the essence of collaboration remains human. Empathy, trust, and shared purpose still matter most. Without genuine connection and understanding, the most advanced tools cannot produce meaningful creativity. The beauty of collaboration is that it transforms the individual mind into a collective intelligence. It reminds us that creativity is not a competition but a contribution. Each person's input adds a new layer, shaping the final creation into something richer and more complete. Collaboration teaches patience, adaptability, and respect, all qualities necessary for sustained innovation. When people come together not just to work but to co-create, they tap into an energy that transcends individual capability. Ultimately, collaboration is not about blending ideas into sameness. It is about celebrating differences and weaving them into something extraordinary. It is the meeting point of minds where imagination takes flight, where passion meets purpose, and where dreams turn into achievements. The most innovative teams in the world are not the ones with the smartest individuals, but the ones that know how to think together, challenge together, and grow together. Collaboration is the art of transforming many voices into one symphony of creativity. Learning is the lifeblood of creativity, and adaptation is its natural expression. To unleash your inner creativity, you must become a lifelong learner, someone who views every experience, success, and failure as a source of growth. The world around us changes every day, and those who stop learning quickly become trapped in outdated ways of thinking. Innovation thrives in those who are constantly evolving, who remain curious and open to new ideas, and who see knowledge as an endless journey rather than a final destination. Creativity is not a single spark, it is a fire that must be continuously fueled by learning. When you stop learning, your imagination begins to shrink. The creative mind needs fresh input, new information, perspectives, and challenges to stay alive. Every book you read, every conversation you have, every problem you solve adds another layer to your understanding of the world. This growing pool of knowledge becomes the raw material for innovation. You begin to make connections between things that others don't see. You combine old ideas in new ways and create something original. The more you learn, the more flexible your thinking becomes. That flexibility is what allows you to adapt to change and to continue creating when circumstances shift. Adaptation is the bridge between learning and innovation. It is not enough to gather knowledge, you must also know how to apply it. The world today moves too fast for static thinking. Worked yesterday may not work tomorrow. The ability to adapt, to change your strategies, update your skills, rethink your assumptions, is what separates innovators from imitators. Creative individuals are not attached to a single method or idea. They are constantly reinventing themselves. They view change not as a threat, but as an opportunity to grow stronger. Mindset transforms uncertainty into possibility and turns obstacles into pathways for discovery. Long learners also understand that learning does not come only from formal education. It comes from observation, experimentation, and curiosity. It comes from stepping outside your comfort zone, trying something new, and being willing to look foolish for the sake of discovery. Every mistake becomes a lesson, every setback a classroom. This attitude of continuous learning keeps your mind sharp and your creativity vibrant. It prevents stagnation and keeps you hungry for improvement. You begin to see patterns that others miss and find innovative solutions where others see dead ends. Adaptability also requires humility, the ability to admit when you are wrong and the willingness to change direction. Many people resist learning because it challenges their sense of certainty, but creativity demands the courage to unlearn. Sometimes, old knowledge becomes an obstacle. The willingness to let go of outdated beliefs or methods opens the door to new ways of thinking. The world's most successful innovators are those who constantly question themselves, who stay students even at the height of success. They know that learning and adapting are not signs of weakness, but of strength. In creative work, learning and adaptation go hand in hand with resilience. When you face failure, the lesson you extract from it determines your future success. Instead of viewing failure as defeat, lifelong learners analyze it. They ask, "What can I learn from this?" That question transforms every mistake into progress. Each time you adapt, your creative confidence grows because you realize you can handle change. You become comfortable with uncertainty, which is essential in a world where innovation often begins with the unknown. Learning also connects you to others. Every new skill or piece of knowledge you gain increases your ability to collaborate, communicate, and contribute meaningfully. You share what you learn. You inspire others to grow as well. In this way, learning becomes contagious and creativity becomes a collective force. A culture of continuous learning within any organization or community leads to constant innovation because everyone is engaged in the process of evolution. Creativity is not a gift that fades, it is a skill that grows. And growth is only possible through learning and adaptation. The more you expose your mind to new experiences, creative possibilities you unlock. When you stay open to change, your ideas remain fresh, relevant, and impactful. The ability to learn continuously and adapt fearlessly ensures that your creativity never runs dry. It allows you to reinvent yourself, to stay ahead of the curve, to transform challenges into opportunities. To learn and adapt is to evolve, and evolution is the ultimate form of creativity. So, my friends, the future doesn't belong to those who play it safe. It belongs to those who dare to imagine, to create, and to act. The power to innovate is not locked inside a laboratory or a boardroom. It lives within each one of us. Creativity is not about having the best resources. It's about having the boldest mindset. It's about believing in your vision when no one else does, learning from every failure, staying endlessly curious, thinking differently, and working together to make the impossible possible. Every idea you have, no matter how small, carries the seed of transformation. Don't let fear bury it. Wait for permission to dream. The world is moving faster than ever, and the greatest opportunity of this age is not technology, it's imagination. If you can dream it, if you can believe it, and if you have the courage to act on it, you can change your life, your company, and even your world. So today, I challenge you. Unleash the creativity within you. Dare to be different. Turn your ideas into action. Because the future isn't something we wait for. It's something we create. That creation begins right here, right now with you.